The Real Estate Institute of WA is the peak body for the real estate industry. Most real estate agents are members of REIWA, which this year celebrated its 90th anniversary. I caught up with, firstly, Rob Druitt, the REIWA president, and then Anne Arnold, its current CEO. So Rob, can you tell us what REIWA does?
Well, REIWA is a membership organisation for real estate agents throughout Western Australia, but it's also, I guess, the voice of real estate in Western Australia and also there to assist the public in their real estate transactions.
So I think there are around about 1,000 real estate agencies in West Australia. How many are REIWA members? The bulk of them would be REIWA members?
The vast majority are REIWA members. Around 85% of all real estate agents are members of the Institute.
Yep.
And that's spread right across the state, of course, and about 25% of our members are country-based members.
Right. And they come here to do their training courses, is that right? You have to do a REIWA training course if you're going to be a real estate rep.
Well, you do training through REIWA, that's right. That's one of our main services that we provide to the industry.
Yeah.
But also we provide a lot of feedback to the market as well, to talk about what's happening in the marketplace at any particular time, both to the media and to the public in general.
How do you do that? How do you collect the data, do you, or the sales and then make that available? Is that how it's done?
That's right. REIWA's very lucky with our website, reiwa.com, that we have about 70% of the real estate market on that website. So we're able to get real-time information on sales. So we're able to comment on the market in real time, which is fantastic, so people know what's really happening at any particular time.
So if you go to reiwa.com and you're going to see all the properties from the REIWA member agencies, which is 70% of the market, as you just said, there's that sales evidence. Is that for free? Can you see stuff, or can you download data?
You can get that sales evidence through our REIWA members, but also there's a whole range of other information for the public, whether it be charts, graphs, information on suburbs, all of the census data. All of that information is available for the public to help them do their research before they buy.
Right. And what else does REIWA get into? I think some agencies come in here, they man the phones, is that right? I hear, on a Thursday or a Wednesday or something?
Actually, right through the week, Charlie. It's what we call the public inquiries. So if you ring REIWA and you've got an issue, anything to do with a contract or dealing with a REIWA member, or just some general help on your real estate transaction, you can talk to a real estate professional here, get some advice, and we help to resolve if there is any disputes or issues that need to be dealt with the public and real estate generally.
Anne, could you tell us what REIWA does for the industry? If REIWA wasn't there, what it would be like? And it is there, so what does it do?
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting question. I suppose it depends on what you call the industry. But if you call the industry the people who provide real estate services to the public in Western Australia, I guess if REIWA were not here, there would be less professionalism, less idea about the right standards that people should observe in transacting, in helping people to transact in real estate. Because after all, the real estate transaction is probably the biggest thing that a person does in their life in the way of a financial transaction. It's absolutely critical to get the right advice and the right information. So I think REIWA plays a big role in helping people to understand their part in the transaction, whether they're the buyer or the seller, and what the implications of that is. We have a big educational function and a big information provision function. So if we weren't here, I guess somehow, somewhere the government would do that. But from the point of view of the industry and the people who are the practitioners, REIWA really exists to ensure that they have a great reputation with the public, and that's a deserved reputation. So the style is matched by the substance of what they do.
So not every real estate agency is a member of REIWA.
No, most
How many do you have, and what are the benefits of being a member?
There are about 990 real estate officers that are members of the Institute.
Right.
And
that must be nearly all of them.
We think it's nearly all of them. Well, it's funny, it's quite a hard thing to measure, but of the active real estate agents, many people have a real estate licence, but they don't necessarily transact, except occasionally for a friend or a rally or something. But of the professional agencies, we probably have 90% of those people represented in our membership.
So you provide learning, education. I think now this year, every agent, not just every principal, has to do some sort of continual professional development, CPD.
Absolutely. And in fact, 2 years ago, the government introduced compulsory professional development for real estate agents, for triennial certificate holders, meaning you've got a 3-year certificate to be a real estate agent. And from January this year, it's for registered people, so property managers and sales representatives who aren't licensed but are registered to work with a licensed agents must also do their CPD. So that's an enormous change for us, and I think long overdue. There are very few professions that don't have to do continuing professional training to ensure that their qualifications are kept up to date and they're aware of... I mean, it's really critical for the consumer protection in this state in relation to real estate, that the personnel who help people sell and buy property actually are up to date with legislation, regulations, the nuances of consumer protection law, contracts. I mean, we're probably the only state now in Australia where a real estate agent is allowed to prepare a contract for the sale of a property. Now, we think that's terrific, because if you have to involve lawyers into the preparation of contracts, it becomes very expensive. So we think that's worth protecting. But the price of that is to make sure that those people are highly educated and understand what they're doing when they're assisting people to complete a contract.